on AWS CLI.
Yes.
We'll discuss till 9:30 to 9:40 వరకు డిస్కస్ చేస్తాను. తర్వాత నేను ఐ క్లోజ్ ది క్లాస్.
Okay.
ఎనర్జీ ఉన్నంత వరకు డిస్కస్ చేస్తాను. So where are we? We are at auto scaling. So before auto scaling, I think I was talking about instances EC2 ni. So for the past few classes, I have been talking about how to install AWS CLI, and then from there into the user profile. Yeah. Oh, user profile okay. Okay. So hope all of you are seeing this.
Yes, sir. Yes.
My CMD.
Yes.
So these are all AWS. So after you install AWS, if you want to come out of that AWS console, you have to press Control C. AWS version. AWS help. These are few of the commands. By the way, you should configure. So AWS configure, and you should use access key and secret key. So both of them will be there in your security. In your user profile, when you click on user profile, you will obtain access key and security key from your security credentials, I think, AWS login. So if and only if you configure, then it is possible for you to work with AWS management console from. So otherwise, it is not possible for you to do anything with AWS. You have to configure first using security key, access key, and security key. So మనం చాలా డిస్కస్ చేసుకోవాలి. There are so many things to talk. D73EA. Yeah. It's good that there is AWS. Some certain AWS is really very much useful for you guys. You can plan your career planning bound to AWS. మీరు బాగా చదవదు అంటే మీ లెవెల్కి AWS actually we need to talk about possible. 1 minute please. చేతులు బాగాలేవు. ఒక్క నిమిషం. ఓం నమో నారాయణాయ. థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్. థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్. అది వేసుకున్నా. So it's good actually. AWS content ఉండడం syllabus లో మీరు చాలా, I think you are so fortunate, but only thing is you అంటే it is better if you had created మనకి కాలేజ్ ప్రొవైడ్ చేస్తుంటే చాలా బాగుండేదని నా ఉద్దేశం. బట్ అన్ఫార్చునేట్లీ వీఆర్ నాట్ టు దట్ లెవెల్. అంటే జిఐటీలో ఎలా జరుగుతుందో నాకు తెలియదు. యాక్చువల్గా AWS టీచ్ చేయడానికి మనకి కాలేజ్ తరఫున AWS అకౌంట్ ఉండాలి. ఈ పర్సనల్లో జరగదు. ఐఎమ్ యూజింగ్ ఆల్ మై పర్సనల్ అకౌంట్. కాలేజ్ నీడ్ టు ప్రొవైడ్ us ఆల్ దీస్ రిసోర్సెస్. యాక్చువల్గా ఏంటంటే ఈ క్లౌడ్ కంప్యూటింగ్లో AWS అనేది అప్రోప్రియేట్ కాదు. అకాడమిక్ లెవెల్లో ఫ్యాకల్టీ స్టూడెంట్స్ మధ్యలో, I mean, for academic discussions, we don't use AWS, but there are AWS ని చదువుకోవాలంటే మీరు కోర్సెరాలోనో లేకపోతే యూడెమీలోనో, and AWS itself has AWS educate program. There you can go and study. But collegesలో AWS మీద పెద్ద డిస్కషన్ ఉండదు. ఇట్లాంటి సబ్జెక్ట్స్ ఏవి ఉండవు యూజువల్గా. బట్ బయట అంటే there is a huge craze for AWS, Google Cloud. Azure వాళ్ళైతే they really work for academics as well. So you can create one, and next time I'll see that there'll be Azure instead of AWS, so that students will have the opportunity. Okay, now this is user profile, and you have this my security credentials, and if you go to the security credentials, then you should have usually you have to go to the users అని ట్యాబ్లో మనకి ఇవన్నీ ఉంటాయి. బట్ ఇక్కడ యూజర్స్ అని చూసారా లెఫ్ట్, అక్కడికి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు మనకు అక్కడ విల్ ఫైండ్ యాడ్ యూజర్, will, but I think dashboard అనుకుంటాను. This is no, it is not the dashboard. Security credentials అక్కడ వెళ్తే అక్కడే మీకు, but in your textbook it is explained differently. If you open the textbook, level. I think yesterday I've shown you a kind of I don't know, AWS configuring AWS CLI command line. Below configuration and credential file settings, configuration basics, quick configuration, access key and all. It is not here actually. Yeah. So sign into AWS Management Console, open the IAM console. IAM console, like I think I didn't open it, but here, if you look at the tab name, it is IAM Management Console. It shows IAM Management Console. So when you click on this My Security Credentials, so it is, I think it will take you to the IAM Management Console, but nowhere it is. Yeah, Identity Access and Management Console is correct. IAM Management Console వెళ్తుంది. అప్పుడు then what is going to happen? Where is it? IAM Management Console, and then in the navigation pane, choose users. So the documentation says we have to go to the users, but in users, then let's see what's choose the name of the user, whose access keys you want to create. Okay, in case if at all you have users here, then you can click on the user and all the information related to, because we don't have any IAM users. I am the only user, so I'm the default user. That is why see identity access management, when we go to the IAM, it shows all the information related to, because I'm the only user. Otherwise, if you have multiple users, then probably you should go to the users. Choose the name of the, in future I create users. I will try to set up, I will not go for the multi-factor access authentication, but I'll try to create one or two users by using IAM. So at that time, remind me, we'll come back to this place and go to the users here. And let's watch how different it looks like. So this is actually the security. Okay. So create, ఇప్పుడు దీన్ని ఓపెన్ చేయడం కుదరదు. It is not possible for me to open this because I told you in my last class, it opens only one. You have the options make inactive, delete, and create new access key. ఇది యాక్సెస్ కీ ఐడి ఉంటుంది, సీక్రెట్ కీ లేదు, దెర్ ఇస్ నో సీక్రెట్ కీ. సో అవి ఓపెన్ చేయాలంటే మళ్ళీ అగైన్ ఇది డెలీట్ చేసి ఇంకోటి క్రియేట్ చేసుకోవాలి, మళ్ళీ అగైన్ కాన్ఫిగర్ చేసుకోవాలి. వీ హ్యావ్ కమ్ హియర్ అండ్ కాన్ఫిగర్. ఓకే, సో దిస్ ఇస్ వాట్ వి డిడ్ ఇన్ last class. Now the very first thing, I think there is a command called describe instances service. AWS EC2 describe instances. AWS EC2 help. You got anything called describe instances? I can search. It is easy to go for one. AWS EC2 reference. Should be able to get all EC2 commands. Here you can search describe. Yeah, you got a lot of describe. There's a lot of describe images, describe instance status, describe instances. Yes, correct. This one. So if you use suppose if I use AWS EC2 describe instances, then I should, yes, very good. So I'm getting response from the AWS Management Console. So this is how it should look like. So which means you have appropriately, you set up, we set up AWS CLI appropriately, and it is able to communicate with our AWS Management Console. Now if you see, there are no groups here, and there are instances, and the Instances ID, image ID is this one is image ID. If you observe, you see actually you got a, this is called, in JavaScript we call it as an object. In Python we call it as a dictionary. There is a dictionary, inside you have a list. This is a list, and a list of dictionaries again. You got the groups. I don't have groups. Instances, there is only one instance, I guess. ఒకటే ఉండాలి instance ఎందుకంటే, because in instance AWS instances I have only one. If I go to the EC2 low, so there is one instance which is running right now, and you see I-0F instance ID. This is instance ID. Remember this. Let's go to this CLI. This one, I-0F. This is instance ID. I-0F 70A133ED, something like that. Instance type T2 micro. T2 micro instance type. So same information. You'll get the same information. And all this ఇక్కడ ఏదైతే ఉందో AWS management console, you will get that to your why we are interested. అంటే already మనకి ఇక్కడ, so we'll get all the information from the management console. Then what is so special about working with EC2? I mean AWS CLI. What is so special about this? Because with AWS CLI, this is for the developers. This is for the users. Like management console is meant for the consumers or users, so who want to do it using GUI. But for developers, it is not possible. What can we do with this web UI? So we can't do anything with this web UI. We need something like this command line. The developers use command line kada. Suppose I want to develop an application for this AWS, and I want to develop my own infrastructure where I don't want my consumers to redirect to this management console, but I want to take them to my own console. అప్పుడు ఏం చేయాలంటే మనకి ఇది అవసరం. So we need this command line interface. ఇప్పుడు చూడండి, దీన్ని మనం తీసుకొని మ్యానిపులేట్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. So don't you think that you can develop an application by using this? ఇదే మీరు బ్రౌజర్లో దొరికిందనుకోండి, ఇక్కడ in case if you can create here in the browser, then that is called API. మనకి మీకు యూనిట్ నెంబర్ 4లో ఇక్కడ ఉంది API అని సంథింగ్ యూ హ్యావ్. ఇదే ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ని మీరు బ్రౌజర్లో కానీ, if you can generate this inside the browser, it is called API. AWS API అంటాం. ఇది AWS CLI. So this is meant for developers because we can just దీన్ని ఇప్పుడు సేవ్ చేసి, we can just simply save this. అది విండోస్లో ఎలా సేవ్ చేస్తామో నాకు తెలియదు. Note AWS info.txt. I don't know. I'm not sure about this. So this is actually the problem, because if you're dealing too many platforms, you tend to forget things. To say console cmd output in Windows text file in Windows. Greater than symbol. It is greater than symbol. C text type your command greater than symbol text type C type in only. The name, this is not the pipe. This is going to be this. Yeah, AWS file entry AWS info.txt. So now let's go back to, I don't know how to go there. డాక్యుమెంట్స్ ఎలా వెళ్ళాలో నాకు తెలియదు. విండోస్లో నాకు తెలియదు. ఇక్కడ ఉందా ఇక్కడ? Is there anything called? See, anybody know how to go to the users user documents? When users, it's okay. I'll copy this. Okay. So AWS info. Yeah, you got this. Now this you can play with anything. You can do anything and everything with this file. I can go to Python and I can open this as a JSON. You got import JSON and JSONify. There is a command called JSONify. How to open a JSONify? Then you can play all this. You can retrieve all this information. You can retrieve the management ID. You can retrieve instance ID. You can retrieve instance type, key name. This is the key name which I'm using. My first test key. KP monitoring placement is AP South 1B. So ఈ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ కావాలంటే ఇక్కడ వరకు రావాలి మనం JSON లో. You have to come till here. In, ఇక్కడ can I open? So somewhere, okay, anyway, that's fine now. So you can just open any other programming language and use it. You can retrieve all this information. I can show you, but it will take time. So this is actually the command relates to describe instances. So I have only one instance. Now let me delete this instance. They already running, I think. How to shut down or terminate the instance. Shut down. Terminate instances. So this is, let's go here. Let's go to this place and look at the examples. What did I say in my last class? At the bottom of this page, you will have the example. So here, these are the examples. Every documentation page, you got an example. At least there will be one example for that. AWS EC2 terminate instances, instance ID, and instance ID used as a terminate. Then we'll get the output in this way. Again, you get the output as if it is shutting down or whatever it is. So now let's see that. So I already have one instance, AWS CLI, not CLI, EC2 terminate instance. Terminate instances, instance IDs. So instance IDs. So what is the instance ID? So let me open this. Now here I got the instance ID. Okay. So you just have to right click here, you'll get everything. Now let's see what's going to happen. Yeah, it's just terminated it without shutting down. Tarvata, I think now at this point in time, if you go to the console kelli, where is that? Here. It is still shows running, and you have to somewhere you will have this refresh button. If you refresh your management console, then it will let you know the status shutting down. You see here, it's shutting down. Usually you can do from here. So if you are a normal user, if you are a consumer of AWS services, then you can come here and you can just come here and do terminate instance. It is still use case terminate instance. Yeah, terminate instances. So terminate instance is going to terminate the instance. Ipudu, since I terminated the instance, now I can go for that old describe instances. I still have instance ID because, and somewhere I think you can also see status. Excuse me. Shutting down the state intended shutting down. Earlier it was not like that. Let's go back. Running. See state running. So when I terminated, now the information is shutting down. So the information is shutting down. So this can be another, so by using all these commands, we can create a beautiful web interface and offer that. So backend lo manam em chestamu. So we have AWS management console. We have the account here. So just like I have the account, my account here, and now I can create my own web interface and offer that to my consumers. అక్కడ నేను ఇప్పుడు ఇది ఉంది. This is there. I can just copy that URL. So whenever my customers, I can offer a button in my web UI where if they press that button, they can be. So that is actually the. So now, what is the utility of AWS console? What is the main utility of the AWS console? I think I have been searching for. I don't know how to search for the public and private IP address. Is there anywhere? Yeah, here. It's a private IP address. Beautiful. At the end of the private IP address, you got the reservations. Reservations law. Reservations law. You got group IDs and instances. Instances law. Network interfaces. So you have to go inside reservations. Reservations law instances. Instances law. Network interfaces. The network interfaces, you get all these. We are not mindful about unless if you are a developer. If you are only developers make use of this information, ID, type, even go to developers cannot. But for normal users, what they worried is all about this information: private DNS, public IP, private IP, public DNS, private DNS, private IP, private IP addresses, public DNS, public IP. Private IP addresses, low public DNS, public IP, private DNS, private IP. So this part of the dictionary is, object file is important for it. This is called object, JSON object. This is, I think you people must be knowing this. You already తెలిసే ఉండాలి ఇది. I don't need to tell you all these things because you learned. That's about. So now one more time. So if you let's see the condition right now. So where is the status? State is terminated. So still information is there. Information is still terminated. But after some time it will disappear. It will simply disappear after some time. So now the status is terminated. It is shutting down. State is shutting down. So first one is running. Here it was state is running, and then here shutting down. When it terminated, it shows the message shutting down. Now it is terminated, and after some time, when it disappear, not maybe afternoon when I log in once again, I may not be able to see this. It will disappear here. This will be empty. So then I should see. I think we don't get any information against this command. For this command, if you execute this command, it will be blank. You don't offer any information to you. So this is how now we can also create. So one last time, and I think terminate అవ్వలేదు కాబట్టి ఇప్పుడు create చేయడం I don't think that is logical because I will be disturbing my management console. But I can create one more instance. ఇంకేదైనా instance ని create చేయొచ్చు. అలా క్రియేట్ చేయడానికి మనకి ఏం కావాలంటే లెట్స్ గో టు ది కమాండ్ రిఫరెన్స్. లెట్స్ సే దిస్ ఇస్ ద లాస్ట్. ఇది ఆఫ్టర్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయినింగ్ దిస్ ఐ విల్ క్లోజ్ ది క్లాస్. క్రియేట్ ఇన్స్టాన్సెస్. మీకు క్రియేట్ ఇన్స్టాన్స్, క్రియేట్ ఇమేజ్, క్రియేట్ ఎక్స్పోర్ట్ టాస్క్, క్రియేట్ లాంచ్ టెంప్లెట్ కాదు, లాంచ్ టెంప్లెట్ వర్షన్ కాదు. create instance, create instance export, make instances, called create instance. This one command and the create image called create image. Let's see. I doubt create image or create instance. So should be Manaki, I think we have that in the documentation, very first beginning documentation law. I think the front page, the very beginning of the documentation, you got that AWS documentation. Hello, it's going somewhere in the CLI documentation. I think here. Start instances and start instances. Okay. No. Start instances is instance IDs. Already, if you terminate an instance and if you want to start once again, that is start instance. But let's say create image example. Sorry. You just go to the bottom of the page and see. Say every command at the bottom of the page, you should be having an example. AWS EC2 create instance ID. Instance ID మనకి ఎలా తెలుస్తుంది? Okay, we'll get the instance ID from the uh, name my server description and I am AMI for I think we don't get instance ID, I guess. Image ID అనేది ఉంటుందండి. Create image instance export. Okay, that's fine. I'll tell you how to create the instance. I think till here I guess you are thorough. You are thorough of the concept. ఎలా ఇన్స్టాన్స్ అనేది తర్వాత చెప్తాను. Describe my instances. I think the state will be terminated, so it will not. It will take some time to disappear that instance from there. So that's for this class. And next class I will show you how to create an instance, and then we'll proceed ahead with other concepts like AMI, IAM, and then autoscaling. And then after that I will go for S3.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so now I'm going to close my class here. I'm not able to talk. I'm between. Okay, if you don't have the questions,
Okay, sir.
then
Thank you.
I will close the class. Okay, have a good day. Bye bye, all of you.
Yes. Bye.